If you've been on my channel for any length of time, you know that I took advantage of a cost segregation study that allowed me to have a lot of bonus depreciation on several transactions a few years back. The one and only David did this for us. David, I forget, what is the name of the firm again?
Cost Segregation Services, Inc. We are now the largest cost segregation company in the United States. Over
Wow, look at that.
40,000 studies done. It's almost like McDonald's. They kept slapping up on the signs, 13 million served,
Yeah.
over
It's
40,000.
amazing. You were wonderful to work with. You did the free survey, like you said. Then the team got in. I got the engineering study. I filed my taxes. My accountant's like, thumbs up. Love the way you guys put it together. So nothing but singing your praises. Again, if somebody wanted to reach out and have their discussion, let's give your text number one more time.
Text number is 770-367-8091.
But what I want to talk about here is in my situation with the building that I did it on. I want to just fast forward 10 years. And one of the things that people follow my story, I occasionally sell buildings. I occasionally 1031. I just want to talk about how you exit a building that has had this done, just so people realize, what will happen if they ever choose to sell. Is that something we should do?
Absolutely. Sure.
So let's fast forward 10 years. It's now 2033. I'm looking to sell this property and I put it on the market. I really see myself having two options. I could sell it for cash, right? Get my check at closing. If I do that, when I file my taxes, I will have what's called depreciation recapture. Depreciation recapture happens no matter what I sell, whether it's a building that's had bonus depreciation or not. I just need to know and realize that I took a lot of that depreciation early, so my depreciation recapture will be a little bigger than a straight line would have been.
A little bit. However, when you do a cost segregation study, most of the property that we identify to accelerate is 5-year property.
Right.
If you don't sell it for 10 years, all of that 5-year property is zero value now. So there's no recapture on any of that.
There you go.
Would be the 15-year property, maybe some 7-year property would be done as well. 15-year property, which is land improvements, which is always a very small percentage of it. So by 10 years, the increase in your depreciation recapture is going to be negligible.
Yeah, it'll be negligible.
If you sell it in 2 years,
right,
then yeah, it's going to be a little bit more. And so I always recommend to people, depending on their individual cases, if you're not planning on holding the building for at least 3 years, don't do cost segregation. It's not worth it.
That's good advice.
Consider it an interest-free loan from the government for 3 years, which is fine, but you will pay most of it back.
Right.
And by 3 years, the money that you can make on savings will more than outweigh any recapture that you're going to pay.
Yeah, and I think that the idea at the 10-year mark is interesting because I'd actually missed that when we were setting this up. Because if you do a cost segregation, you're pulling out what is 5-year wear, what is 7-year wear. So that stuff is gone.
It's gone.
So taking the bonus depreciation on 5s and 7s, yeah, that has no impact. But it will be the 15-year stuff that you'll pay a little bit of recapture.
But
that's a good point.
It also depends on how the sale is structured.
Tell me more.
If more of the sale price is allocated toward structural components in the building and less is allocated toward depreciable, the accelerated stuff, then again, you pay less recapture.
There you go.
So if you're smart and you have a good CPA or tax professional, then they structure the sale in such a way that it minimizes your recapture.
There you go. This is why you got to work with professionals like David. He can put all this together for you. This is not my area of expertise. I am just a user of his services. So again, I've used it. My accountant, this is a couple of years ago, was simple to do. So thank you for that. But now let's talk about the other way I exit properties, and that is 1031. I'm going to sell this asset. It's going to be a like-kind exchange. I'm going to go bigger. At that point, nothing really changes, right? It just rolls into the new asset, correct?
Basis of your property then rolls into the new asset. Depending on how much bigger the new one is from the old one, we can then cost segregate the new building, but only the increase in cost basis. So
correct.
If you trade a $1 million building for a $2 million building, then the second cost segregation is on the 1 million in
The delta.
increase.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1031 is a great way. I mean, essentially what you're doing is you're kicking the can down the road, but keep kicking the can as long as you can. And it's one of the reasons why I did a video and have taught classes on cost segregation as an estate planning tool.
Yeah.
Because if a person who owns a building does a cost segregation study and they don't sell it, but they pass away and they leave that building to an heir, one, the heir gets a stepped up value.
Yep.
And two, there is no depreciation recapture.
Yeah. It's just,
So if somebody dies and owns a building and they have not done a cost segregation study, if they have an astute CPA, the CPA can have a cost segregation study done after the person dies, before they file his last tax return.
mm,
And then all of that extra money comes off of the estate's taxes, and the heir gets the stepped up value to market value, which lately has been a big stepped up value.
yeah, folks, at the end of the day, this is not an area of expertise I have or pretend to have. So I bring on professionals like David. If you want to have a conversation about cost segregation, bonus depreciation, long-term versus short-term rentals, there is a difference. You need to reach out to David. David, what is the text number they should tell you there? And you should tell them you're coming from one rental at a time. What is it?
770-367-8091. And don't be afraid of cost segregation because you don't understand it. I'll help you learn.
Yeah, this again, folks, he has the heart of a teacher. If you have questions about it, he will schedule a call. He will take care of you. David, thank you for being a part of One Rental at a Time. I appreciate you.
I wouldn't rather be with anybody else.
Oh, you say that to all the girls, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Take care.